Ready? In 3. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Chemical Guys Detail Garage Q&A session on a Monday. Woo! Hope you guys had a great holiday weekend. We've got some more questions for you, so we're gonna go ahead and answer them. We're just gonna jump right in, right, Nick?
Yep.
So the first question, as we jump in here, is from Josh. And Josh asks, growing my Chemical Guys collection like crazy. Love it and love your videos. I have both HydroCharge and HydroSlick. Is it worth it to still do a glaze, sealant, or wax after them? If I do them, would HydroSpeed and HydroSud still rejuvenate the ceramic coatings, even if they have these extra layers over them?
Absolutely, yeah. Additional layers not only adds depth and gloss, but it's still adding longevity and durability to your existing coating. So whether you have HydroCharge, HydroSlick, or any kind of ceramic, and then boost it with glaze, sealant, or wax, you're still getting more protection, and you're also enhancing the longevity of your coatings. Absolutely,
yeah. Like Nick says, it's gonna take your current coatings, whatever you have on there, and just put them to the extra mile. They're gonna last even longer and add protection on top of that. Anything you add on top is just gonna add more gloss, more glaze. It depends on what you're looking for. Right. So obviously, if you want that crystalline, clear, cold look, you go with an extra boost of HydroSpeed. If you want that more warm glow, you would pick something like a butter wet wax to give it a little bit of that carnauba warmth to it.
Exactly.
J Pasty W asks, I have a graphite gray Ram 1500. After polishing, would you recommend using Blacklight or Jetseal?
Why not both?
Why not both?
Why not both?
Why not both?
Why not both? The combination of Blacklight and Jetseal will add depth and mask minor imperfections. You said you have a graphite, which means it's probably got metallic. So that Blacklight's going to enhance the metallic flake and help to make it really pop. And then you can lock in your shine using Jetseal, which gives you up to 12 months of protection. So the combination is going to look great on your vehicle and also give you the best, longest lasting shine.
Why not both? Always Glad asks, we're always glad to see you as well.
Yes, thanks for tuning in.
Yes. Well, speaking of which, why don't you guys hit subscribe real quick?
That's a good call out. Yes, if you haven't already, subscribe, turn on your notifications, follow us on.
Yeah, ask your questions for the next video right now. And we're always glad to hear from you, and we're always glad to hear from Always Glad. Hi all, if using Blacklight, Jetseal, and butter wet wax, do I have to wait any amount of time in between products, or can I apply one right after the other? In this particular case, Nick, I think it's okay to apply them pretty much right after another with these specific products.
Exactly.
But it might be best practice to at least give it a couple minutes, maybe 15 minutes in between layers.
Yeah, that's pretty much the perfect thing. For any kind of glaze, sealant, wax combination, you could essentially apply them immediately one right after another, but allowing about 15, maybe 30 minutes for the surface to breathe and cure between your sealant or your wax coating is just going to give you the best longevity, and also it's a great time to make sure that you've wiped off any kind of residue or missed areas.
Brian DeLeon asks, can I wax a wrapped car? And does the finish in the wrap matter for the type of wax sealant or ceramic?
Yes, great question. So a lot of those guys out there, or a lot of you guys that have wraps or even PPFs, you've been looking for something that's going to enhance your wrap and also give you the gloss and longevity of a painted vehicle. It's perfectly fine to wax or even apply sealant to your gloss finish wraps, but for matte, you want to use a matte specific product so you don't stain it or discolor it or something like that.
Definitely. So we have different products for your different needs. Obviously, if you have a glossy wrap, we've got something with gloss. If you've got a matte wrap, we've got something with matte. And can you put a ceramic on a wrap?
It's really not recommended.
Not recommended.
A ceramic is going to harden on the surface, and that could potentially cause the wrap to become brittle because it still needs to flex with the body and things like that.
Right.
It's scientific.
Yeah. So you're good with your waxes and your sealants, but not so much the ceramics.
Yeah.
Steer clear of those if you got a wrap. I got a wrap. Juan Aguilar asks, can I wax my car without claying it first? We don't really recommend that. You technically could. Some waxes like butter wet wax, if you have like minor dirt and debris, actually might clean it, but it's probably not a good idea to do that.
Right.
Anytime you put a coating on your vehicle, you want that surface to be completely clean, because if not, you're essentially sealing all that dirt on inside your car.
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
So, yeah.
It's just best to clean it as best as you can before you put any kind of coatings on there. And also, if you're going to be using a machine polisher to apply those kinds of waxes, you don't want the machine to pick up any of that debris where it could potentially cause marring or pigtails in the paintwork.
Exactly.
So
and that
thoroughly clean it first.
That's actually another question that we got too a couple times. People were asking about marring on their paint and like how do they avoid that, or like what happens if they get that on there. So marring typically happens when you are using a clay bar in your paint and you're not providing enough lubrication. So we are going to give you a quick demo on how to properly do this. People wonder, how much lubrication am I supposed to be using? Like, you know, 1 spray, 2 sprays, you know, you actually want to coat the heck out of it.
Yeah, it's got to be thorough and very generous with the lubrication.
So we've got a secondary sprayer bottle here filled with clay luber. It's the nice blue stuff. We've got an OG clay bar here.
We've got a bunch of OG clay bar
Yeah,
here.
this is a lot of clay bar, and all you really need is a little piece like this. You got a lot of clay in there, but you just need a little piece like this. And what you're going to do is kind of squeeze it together, make a little patty for yourself. I like to even, you know, squish it a little bit like
make
this.
a little disc out of it.
Make a little disc, right? And something about this size is really what you need here. You could go even a little bigger, but 3 fingers worth, so you could just kind of rub that back and forth. Another option, if you don't want to use a clay bar, because if you do drop this, you have to grab another piece and start over. It's very sticky, so any debris on the ground will basically get stuck to this. We also offer a clay block. This is a synthetic clay bar. It's pretty sticky as well when it gets wet. And this you can refresh a bunch of times before having to get a new one of these. So for that, simply just put a, detail spray, or even probably clay luber on here and just wipe it off, right, with a microfiber towel. Yeah. So this is great for beginners. This is also okay for beginners too. You know, once you follow this demo, you'll see how easy it is to do. And let's get started with this. I don't know what I'm talking about. Am I rambling?
No, you're doing great.
I'm rambling. He's like, yeah, I'm rambling. So basically what you want to do is give a couple sprays onto your clay bar, get that nice and lubed up, and then you just want to spray the surface really well. And then you just start going back and forth, left and right. And you'll feel it. You'll be able to feel when this gets cleaner. You'll be able to feel it get smooth. And that's when you can move on to the next section. And when you get to the next section, just spray there too. You can actually consistently, if you want to get the whole car done, just keep spraying back and forth, keep spraying a couple. You'll kind of get the feel for how much is actually there. Like you'll feel when it's lubricated and when it's not. And when it starts to just drag slightly, that's when you want to add a little bit more spray to it. And you'll see all the contamination is coming off, nothing's sticking, nothing's marring. And that's basically how much lube you want to put on this while you're claying. You can just continuously spray. This stuff goes a long way, but you really want to protect your paint while you're doing this. And then you can see there's a bunch of stuff on here. You just refold your clay bar to a clean side, re-patty that thing up, spray it again, spray the surface, and just continue on. And once you get enough of it done, hopefully you have a pal like Nick who can come along with a beautiful microfiber towel, hand you the towel, and then you can do a nice little wipe down here. Now the car should already be clean at this point, so you could still roll your wrist. It's always a good practice to do that, but you can also just flip to a clean side and kind of just wipe all that stuff off, because we already made sure that the surface is free of debris, and especially after we clayed it, there's definitely nothing in the paint anymore. So just wipe it down. And look at that, nice glossy surface. Ready for some wax. Ready for the wax. Now that we're done with that.
That was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. The clay block is used the same exact way as the bar. The only difference is you don't have to re-knead it, you just wipe it off with a microfiber towel.
Yeah, very user-friendly. So maybe for those of you guys that are new to detailing and maybe you're afraid of dropping the clay bar, the clay block is a great alternative because, like Jason mentioned, if you drop it, simply clean it off and then you can continue the process, whereas a clay bar, you drop it, you gotta throw it away. Which is why we recommend not using the entire bar at once.
That's right. You could actually get about 3 to maybe even 5 cars done with one clay bar, depending on how much contamination there is and how often you're using it. That's another question we get. And another clay bar question we always get is, will the clay bar remove scratches?
And the answer is no. The clay bar is a tool that its only purpose is to remove contamination, water spots, and things that are embedded in the pores of the paint and make the surface smooth again, to prep it for the next step, which would be polishing, which is where you'd actually remove those scratches and swirls.
Yeah. Next item comes from Kevin Bellinger. Kevin says, nonsense is great for getting hats clean. It takes out the sweat stains. It's a great point, Kevin.
Yeah, good tip, Kevin.
Yeah. you know, just because we work on cars mostly doesn't mean that these products don't work in other areas of your home.
Yeah.
You could use leather cleaner on purses, on leather jackets,
yeah, shoes,
belts. Yeah, exactly. You could use nonsense pretty much all around your home. I like to dilute a little bit of nonsense in a secondary sprayer bottle with some water and basically use that to clean up small messes around the house.
Yeah. Which brings me to another great point. A lot of people ask us, what's the proper dilution of nonsense? It says it on the bottle, but also a great tip is for regular cleaning, just dilute it 20-to-1. That's a very soft and gentle clean for virtually anything. You can still use it full strength for tough stains and lingering odors, or somewhere in between for the regular jobs.
Exactly. Andrew asks, can you apply Hydro Slick wax with a machine?
The answer is going to be no, because any kind of, even though it says it's a hyper wax, it's actually a ceramic coating, and that's something that is a hand applied only process.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you don't
Not
wanna,
only are you gonna ruin the coating itself by, you know, creating all these swirl things going on, probably get holograms, things like that.
Yeah.
But you're also gonna ruin your pad because it's gonna harden on your pad. So it's just, it's definitely a no on that one.
Yeah.
There's something beautiful also about applying Hydro Slick by hand. It's just a very, I don't know, cathartic experience, I feel like, to just really make sure that every layer is coated with that thing. So give yourself that gift and go by hand.
Yeah, just the concentration that it takes to make sure that you're evenly applying it and just really working
and
into the
then
vehicle.
buffing that off, like, oh, the results are amazing. You're gonna love it.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for all your questions. We've got one more, and it is from Lysander. Lysander asks, what is the meaning of life? Well, we're out of time, Nick. We're gonna have to just answer that one on the next episode. So make sure you hit subscribe, and we'll get to that one ASAP.
The answer is C. The answer is always C.
The answer to the universe and life and everything in between is 42.
How many miles can you travel in 1 hour? So essentially, how fast is a mile a minute?
A mile, I've been talking a mile a minute, and I couldn't even tell you. 60, you can go 60 miles an hour in 1 hour if you're going 60 miles an hour. If you go 60 miles an hour for 1 hour, you'll go 60 miles.
Yes.
So if you go 1 minute a mile, it's basically the same thing. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Happy Monday. Hope this made your Monday great.